Hi everyone. So today's tutorial is going to be about this really simple wire wrapped heart pendant for Valentine's Day. Now you can hang it from a chain, or you can, sorry, I just ate some fruit. You can hang it from a chain, or you can hang it from an earring wire. It's entirely up to you. It's really not huge and it's not big, and it's super easy to make. So I'm going to show you how to make that. So for this really cute heart pendant, you're going to need some craft wire, and I'm using 24 gauge and 20 gauge. All right, so you're going to need a little crystal heart, and this is a 12 millimeter crystal heart. You're going to need a jump ring, and you're going to need 2 bails. These are the bails that you can just spread open and clip on to your crystal. And also I used a bail on here, and I squeezed it nice and tight in there so it can't move around, and it's going to hang perfectly off of a chain or earrings. I'm using 3 millimeter fire polish. It's depending how big you make your heart is how many you're going to need to put around your heart. And if you want to do this little piece across here, you can always do that too. So I've cut, so far, I've cut about, I don't know, I've got a piece of 20 gauge. So it's, oh crap, this is, oh, here we go, here's inches. So it's about 8 inches. You may not need all of that. And then you're going to cut about a good chunk of 24 gauge. So I'm using silver, and I'm going to do my wire wrapping in gold because I think that's going to look really pretty. Okay. You will need a chasing hammer, one of these, an anvil, because we're going to do a hammering. You're going to need your regular pliers, and if you have these nylon pliers, these will come in handy for you when you're wrapping your beads to straighten out your 24 gauge. Now you can use, I'm using a blush brush is what I'm going to stretch my heart around, my blush brush. You can also use a big fat pen, so you can always use this. I may even use this, but this is the part I'm going to use to wrap it around. So you can use anything. You can even use this, which is the wooden hammer part of your hammer. So first things first, to get started, let me get all this stuff out of the way, is you're going to take your 20 gauge, and you're just going to bend it in half. Well, not quite in half. You want to go one part a little bit lower because you're going to need this part. And if you want to create a bail with this, you probably could too, but I haven't done that. So all you're going to do is kind of squeeze these together and make a little oval loop like that. Okay, and then you're going to take your blush brush or whatever you use, and I'm just kind of getting a shape. I just kind of want to get my heart shaped nicely. Like, you can make this however big you want. You can make this loop however big you want. You can pull it tighter and even make it a bit smaller, so that's okay too. And then I'm just going to manipulate the wire with my fingers, and I'm going to use my pliers here to straighten out anything that I actually kink in this, because I really don't want to kink my wire. So that's why I'm using these. All right, so now you're going to kind of estimate where you want to make the bend on your heart. So I'm going to say roughly about there, and then I'm just going to use this pen that I got from Preciosa or Nella, and it's got actually beads in there. Okay, and I'm going to bend it here like so. Okay, so there's my first bend. Let me just straighten that out a wee bit. and get my pliers and take that kink out because I don't want any kinks in my heart. Okay, so that one's done. Now we want to bend this one up a little higher than this loop. So again, I'm going to take my trusty old pen and I'm going to bend it up here, which is a little bit higher, up there like that. Okay, so we have two bends in our heart like this. And this one here could probably use a little more rounding on it. So let me just, there we go. There we go. There we have this. So now what you're going to do is you're going to trim these wires off because of course they're way too long. And you kind of want to make a little spiral like this in it. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to trim off about that much. And I'm going to trim off about this much on this one. Okay. And then I'm just going to take the very, very tip of my round nose pliers here. And I'm just going to begin to make a curl like this. See, I'm just turning it ever. I want it so, so tiny, this first loop. Like that. So, like this. And then you can just take your needle nose pliers and continue coiling this. Like that. Like this. And you can coil it as much as you want. And I'm just going to keep coiling it like this until I have it. I think that's pretty good. You need enough right here to join the heart when we finish it. So there's one half of your heart. Now you're going to do the same thing with this. As you're going to begin coiling it like that. Very tiny coil. And then I'm just going to continue to do it with my needle nose pliers. It's a lot easier to do this way. See? Just holding it and coiling it. Like that. Okay, so we don't want to do too much because we want to, well, we could do a little bit more. There we go. And I think this here kind of is too funky. So you can kind of manipulate your wire and fix it up. And put your pen in and keep it shape. So the fattest part here. There we go. All right. So we want to join these. It doesn't really, they don't have to be perfect, you see. This isn't going to be, this might be a wee bit too long. But you can always, you can fix it. Or do what I'm going to do and just continue to coil it. A little wee bit more, just to shorten it. And I believe that's good enough. So yeah, see? Now we got one side longer than the other. And that's what you want. Okay? Oh my gosh. Now, you're going to take your anvil, of course. Going to take your chasing hammer, and you're just going to give this a few taps and a few taps here. And what this is going to do is this is going to stiffen it up for you and harden it as well. So I'm going to kind of bang this down a bit to flatten that. So I want my heart to be good and sturdy. Don't do it too much. I'm going to do right there because that's where the joint is. So let me have a look at this. See, it becomes a little more stronger. And this one here, I'm just fixing this because I don't like how that curved out. So I'm just play with your heart until it's good and perfect the way you want it. So this is about where I kind of want my heart to join. Okay, so let me just get my pliers out here because I don't want this flat. I want to kind of round this area here. Like that. See? That's all it does. It takes a wee bit of manipulating. And this is gonna join here. So now you're going to take your piece of 24 gauge, and we're going to move this out of the way. I'm still not happy with that. I'm still not happy with how bumpy it looks. So probably if I had my rubber mallet, which I don't have it here at my station. There we go. Now I'm happy with that. Now it's beveled out. Okay, so let's look at my heart. My heart. So it's pretty close and like this. Not perfect, but it's close enough. Now, to join this, you want to just put your two ends together like this. Bring this piece of wire up from one end, and you're going to kind of wrap it around, holding this piece this way because you need this piece, and I'm just pushing this piece through like that. Okay, so we want to tighten this up here, see? But don't over tighten it that you overlap it like that, because that's what I just did. I don't want it overlapped. So let's fix this up. It's very easy to overlap it if you pull too tight. There we go. It's all fixed. So I'm just going to wrap this end, the short end, around a couple of times, pulling it through with the pliers, because it's just as easy with pliers. Oopsies, we went over top of our previous wrap. So I'm just straightening this out so we don't overlap our wraps. It's kind of kinked. There we go. Yeah, don't overlap your wraps. Like that. See how it's overlapping? Because this one just wants to give me a hard time and be a little bitch. You know, when I make this, I didn't have this problem, but because I'm on video and I'm showing you, of course I'm going to have frickin' problems. There. Nope. It pretends it's going to go in there. Finally. Piece of crap. Alright. Now, and I overlapped it. What I just told you not to do. Let's squish this. Oh my gosh, I don't want you overlapping. Get out of there. So let's loosen this up a tad bit. You got to be careful with 24 gauge. There we go. The weaker your wire, it's easier to break it. Okay, so let's put one more wrap in here. Pinch the two coils I've got done together. Actually, I'm not going to do any more wrapping with that side. I'm just going to use this, and I'm just going to go in here. and wrap in here. I'm using my long end, and I'm just keeping this short end because I'm going to cut it after I get a few wraps in here. Okay, like that. And I'm going to bang this down like I done with the other one so it stays flat. Okay, that's all we want it to do. So I'm going to cut this extra long piece off after I pull it down though. And I'm going to undo my coil a wee bit so I can get in behind it. There we go. I'm getting in behind it like this, and then I'm going to cut it. Okay, like that. And then we're just going to push this down. I want to push it down like that. Like that. And I'm going to give it a little tap with the hammer to make sure it's flat. And it is good to go. Now, so all you're going to do now is you've got this end. You're just going to come through like this. Pull it through. And as I said, your nylon pliers, you don't have to have them, but they come in handy for when you're wire wrapping. And it's kind of good to use them because when you're trying to put crystals on, okay, let me just squeeze those together. Revamp that. And now we have this nice little wrap in the middle there, holding our heart together. So let me get this focused. Is it gonna focus, or am I just got a crappy camera? There we go. There's the focusing. Pretty cool. All right. Now I'm wrapping this, and I'm coming out through, I went through the bottom of the heart. You probably don't need this big long piece. Let me move this. But you will need your crystals now, and you're just going to pick up one crystal, let it fall all the way to the bottom. Okay, and this is the tricky part, is pushing your wire up, getting your crystal close, and bending it like this. So your crystal's bent and coming up through that loop one time. Whoops. Now I sent crystals flying all over the floor in here earlier, so I don't want to do that. And then you're going to wrap it again, like so. So it's good and secured there. All right, and carefully I use my round nose pliers just to give it a little turn because I want it to sit straight on that heart like that. Okay, so there's 2 loops done, 2 wraps. Squish these 2 together so it's nice and neat and ready for your next crystal. Pick up another crystal. Whoops, I picked up 2. Pick up 1. Okay, and kind of give it a, you got to help it along with your fingernails. This is kind of tedious. Okay, up there. Push it as close as you can to the other crystal. Go in behind and push this through and give it a wrap. Okay, and do one more wrap. So you're doing 2 wraps between each one, and then you're just going to take your fingers and squish them together and push your wraps together. And if you can't do that with your finger, use your pliers and just push your 2 wraps together. You could even push these together. Carefully just turning that so it stays straight on the heart. See how easy that is? How pretty. I'll be back. I have a dog driving me nuts. Okay, sorry about that. My son's dog wanted in the room. And the only reason he wanted in here is because I was downstairs. I'm up in my beading room. I was downstairs cutting up fruits and watermelon and stuff for my healthy choice of life that I'm living now. And he smells watermelon. He's an absolute watermelon freak. So I had to give him watermelon, and he scratched at the door till I let him in. He's a smart little guy.
Penis!
Okay, sorry about that. My son's dog wanted in because I was downstairs cutting up all this fruit because my husband and I started eating healthier, and I quit smoking, by the way. And I'm doing okay on it. That's all I'm going to say so far. But anyway, he wanted in the room because he loves watermelon and he can smell it. So we've gotten 2 stones on, so we're going to put another one on. So I'm just picking up another stone and I'm letting it fall right to the base. And I'm going to try and give it, I just give it a little twist, like a little twist to sit onto the base. And then push it down with your finger and go behind and up through so you can do your wrap. And then you're going to do a wrap. And you're going to pull it through like so. And then you're going to push that up. So I just usually take these like I told you, and I just kind of very gently, don't squish the bead, very gently squish or turn it. So as you can see, they're not all clumped together. So now they are, and not. And those are not pushed together. So I'm trying to keep my wraps, you know, kind of the same distance apart. So you're going to have to work with each bead for sure because, one sec. Wow, I think sometimes I'm just going to sit on the phone and you guys will never hear it ringing. Okay, so this is, I'm going to show you one more time how to wrap your beads. Now you can put as many as you want on this heart. Or yeah, you can put as many as you want, but I'm going to fill my heart up as much as I can. Like you see, I've done all those in here. So I'm going to probably put the same amount on here. And I think this kind of looks nice with the gold and the silver wire. I always did like that kind of combination. So sometimes these are not going to sit perfectly flat, just so you know. And you cannot squish it down. As much as you try, you can't do it. And I'm just going to try to flatten the bead on top because it's not wanting to sit. And I'm just going to wrap it and wrap it. Okay. Now, make sure you pull these nice and tight, your wraps, so your beads aren't just dangling up there like, you know. And as you can see, I need to push those together. Get this one turned a bit more. There we go. All right, we're good to go. And I'm just adjusting as I go here. Sometimes it's best to just push it with your finger. All your, I'm just trying to get all my coils to have kind of like the same distance apart. There we go. See? And that's all you're going to do. So I'll come back after we have finished coiling and wrapping our crystals on our hearts. Okay, I'll be back when I get that done. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay guys, I have completely gone around and done all my crystals. As you can see, it's still taking shape. So all you're going to do, if you want to just leave it like that, you can leave it like that. And if you want to do this line, all you can do, I'm not going to do it on this side. I kind of like it from this side. So I'm just going to leave where my last coil was, and I'm going to pick up a few beads. Pick up however many you want to pick up so you can match up wherever you want to tie this off. So if you want to tie it off on the third bead up there, or this one here is basically where I tied it off. And I am going to straighten my wire with these. Okay, and then I'm going to continue to pick it up because there's not enough. So just keep holding it right like this. Yeah, I think I'll put it on that one. So I could probably fit 2 more. Yeah, that's perfect. So there, I could fit 2 more on it. All right. So now you want to kind of squish this down at the bottom here. All right, and you're just going to do some wraps. So never go in with the bottom end of your wire. Always push this part of your wire out and you will not get kinks. Really bad kinks if you do it this way. So I wrapped it around once. Then I went around to the other side like this. Went right across the front like that. Pulling it down tight and wrapping it. Just like this. Okay. So now this is securely in place. Now you can trim off your wire, and as you can see, we didn't have a whole lot of wire left. So I'm just going to trim it off there. And then I'm carefully going to squish that down without snapping a bead between my cutters, or my pliers. So there. So now you just have to kind of straighten this line up nice and straight. So your heart's like that. I think that is absolutely really cute. So like you could put your line through here, starting from the side where you finish, or you can cross over and go over like this. And these ones here is you used a little bit darker red in this. This is a ruby, dark ruby. Okay, so next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your little red heart. And these bales that I got from the internet came with these little clip things on the tops of them. Well, this one I don't need, so I'm just going to cut it off. Okay. Now, spread this open like that. Drop your heart in there. There we go. And squish it. So this prevents your bale, your heart from falling off. But make sure that's good and closed, okay? Oh, sorry. Make sure that's good and closed, your bale. Now, you're going to take your little jump ring. And I used a 4mm, so I have a really tiny jump ring. In fact, I got to order more of these. I'm running low on them. And then you're going to close it up with your round nose, your other pair of pliers. Oh gosh. There we go. And push that. And I want to make sure it's good and sealed. There we go. So that's done. Now you can always wire wrap a loop up here if you want, but I kind of like the bale effect. So I'm going to use this bale, and I'm going to kind of put it on wherever I think would sit nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this with my pliers, but I'm going to kind of offset this these pegs. You see these pegs here? Oh shit, I'm really out of camera. Okay, if you see these pegs here, I kind of offset that. So when I close this, I can close it really tight and past this peg here, just because I want it to overlap, because we don't want it to move around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how that's going to look. So I'm going to squish it here. Okay, so I'm about three beads down. Squish it and make sure it crosses over. Okay, so before I actually seal this, I need this to be right where I want it, between these beads. So I'm just gonna squish that in there. So as you can see, they overlapped and crossed each other. And that's perfect because now you have your bail. And now you have your heart. So these are pretty versatile. You can make earrings with these. And I'm actually going to wear this on a pin. I ain't even going to wear this as a pendant. Because I don't wear necklaces. But I would really like this to hang off of my jacket. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. And how I'm going to do that. So I have all kinds of floral pins, fancy pins. I've got these ones that are kind of like diamond shaped, and these smaller pins. So I'm going to use this one because it's the shortest. Sorry. And I'm going to take an earring back to prevent this from coming off. Where did my earring backs go? Right here. All right. So I'm going to protect myself with 2 of these. So when you use 2, and I'll show you why I'm going to use 2 of these earring backs. When you put this on your jacket, you need your pin to go through your jacket. Pick up your loop and go through your jacket again. Okay? So you just want to have enough that this is going to stay dangling. You're going to push this rubber stopper on, nice and tight, and you're going to push that right up to your part where your jacket's in. You're going to push that on, and then you're going to put the other end on and protect right over top of the pin. So that point here does not go into your skin or anything like that. So no point there. So there we go. You've got yourself a nice little pin, even a brooch pin. Cute, eh? Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's just a simple little wire wrapped heart that I thought was absolutely the cutest thing ever. And I thought maybe you guys might want to make a couple of these or make yourself a jacket pin. Even so, you could take an old pair of cutters, which mine are old here, and you can, once it's on your coat, you can cut that very fine tip off. Sorry. You can cut the sharp tip off, and then you can take your file. I just use usually a nail file, okay? And you can file this down, okay? That's all I do, is to get rid of the sharpness of the pin so it doesn't poke me. If you don't have these, you can actually do this now, just don't make it too sharp, okay? Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and you have fun making a heart for Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day, and I'll see you all soon on the next video. Bye, everyone.